Hello and welcome back to George Past the Post and a Happy New Year for 2026. Don't worry, to the three of you who might have been thinking, oh, I've not seen a George Past the Post video for a while. Well, never fear, I am here. This video is going to look at the upcoming Gorton and Denton by-election, which is going to be held soon because the incumbent MP Andrew Gwynn is resigning. Now you'll be relieved to hear that this video is not going to be about Andy Burnham. There, I mentioned him once, but I think I got away with it, to paraphrase Basil Fawlty. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look at what the result in this seat was at the last election. And then because this was a new seat, I'm also going to go into a little bit of detail about what the results were in the former constituencies, because it's a new seat and it's made up of various different parts of three other constituencies: Manchester Gorton, Manchester Withington, and Denton and Reddish. That's where Andrew Gwynn was the MP before. Before we go into all of that excitement, the result in 2024 in the Gorton and Denton constituency was as follows. He said, pretending he was the acting returning officer, declaring that the total number of votes recorded for each candidate was as follows. I can only give you the percentages. Let's see, can I remember? So the results were, rounding up, so I can't be accused of bias: Labour, 51%, Reform, 14%, the Greens, 13%, the Workers' Party, 10%, the Conservative Party, 8%, and the Liberal Democrats, 4%. So even at first glance, you might look at that and you might think, as I did, that's a strange one. Not that it was strange for Labour to be getting, for it to be a safe Labour seat, but the fact that the Reform Party and the Greens both did well led me to think, what potentially is going on here? Which brings us to the previous constituencies. Now, the Manchester Gorton seat, part of which made up this constituency, was a very safe Labour seat, and voted, I think if I remember, about 62% Remain. I'm not sorry if anyone gets upset. I mentioned the B word. Don't mention Brexit. But anyway, about 62% for Remain. The Manchester Withington seat, now not all of this seat, the Withington seat still exists, but part of it has now gone to Gorton and Denton. It's a Labour seat now, and the Greens are a strong second, but it actually used to be a Lib Dem seat, so it's a bit more of a varied history. That was a very strong Remain seat. I think it was something like 72%, something like that. The Denton and Reddish seat actually voted, despite being it was a safe, not despite, it was a safe Labour seat with the Conservative second for most of its life, and that seat voted Leave. I think it was something like 61% for Leave. I'm caveating with the word something. So that perhaps explains the quite varied, the similar performance by Reform and the Greens, because you would think there's a part of this seat which was strongly for Leave, which may explain the Reform vote, and there's other parts of the seat that were more strongly Remain, which may explain the potentially not just the Green vote, but the Labour vote potentially as well. To be clear, I'm not saying that people were necessarily thinking about how they voted in 2016 when they voted in 2024, but it's quite an interesting state of affairs to have that mix of a potentially a very strong Leave area and a strong Remain area, which leads us to what may happen in this by-election. And now, remember what happened in, was it Caerphilly? I think it was Caerphilly, yes. The Labour vote in the by-election there, that it completely collapsed. Now, whether something similar may happen, obviously, we don't know. it potentially, because of the background that I've explained and because of the result in 2024, could be a three-way by-election between Labour, the Greens and Reform. All three of them could have a chance of winning, or depending on, perhaps Labour's vote nosedives completely and it in effect turns into a two-horse race between the Greens and Reform, or maybe Labour managed to sneak up through the middle, like they did in many seats in 2024, where they triumphed with 30% of the vote or something like that, or it could be a big three-way split. So I just thought I would talk to you about that for over 5 minutes, and without mentioning that person's name that I said I would only mention once, but get away with it, and I'm not going to mention his name, because irrespective of who the Labour candidate is, they face an uphill struggle. But by-elections are unpredictable, so we're either looking at a 2 or 3 horse race, and for some unsuccessful elections, that's why I do these videos, and that's why you all watch, all 3 of you. So anyway, have a good day and goodbye.